This is mafex number 105, also known as Batman Hush, and in this video I will show you why you should add this to your collection. Welcome to... This figure is often regarded as one of the best action figures out there, and I completely agree. It is literally stripped straight out of the successful comic book series Batman Hush by the amazing writer Jeff Loeb and Jim Lee. The box is really nice and simple. It's a nice dark blue to represent the colours of Batman, and it matches the rest of the Hush line. You've got a nice big Hush text down the side with a photo of the figure and also the name mafex and Medicon Toys. On the top you got another pose of Batman and with one of the hand, and also Batman Hush again. Same for the side, but this time with Batman with his cape draping and also mafex. And then again on the other side with another pose of Batman down the side with Hush. And then going around to the back, there is also Hush written, and then also Batman in multiple poses along with the different accessories shown that you get. Going down to the bottom of the box, you've got some writing in some different language, a barcode, and then also the reason why you know this is an official figure is because you've got the shiny Medicon official figure, and then also warning ages 17+. Spinning the box round and flipping it on its back, you have a bit of tape, cut the tape and then open the box, and you are greeted with a nice tray with the figure inside. Something I do like that mafex quite often do with majority of their figures is they include a comic panel or a comic art from the artist that the figure is based off on the inside. So as here, this is the original cover art for the first ever issue of Batman Hush on the inside. Goes all the way around, but I think it's a bit of nice extra premium detail for the price you are paying for this figure. Inside there is a bit of paper and a bit of plastic that just says certifying genuine product, just so you know it is the real figure and not a bootleg. The figure comes in a nice clam tray to keep everything nice and tidy. And then on the back there would be a stand, but I've already opened this figure before and taken the stand out, but here's the mafex stand, we'll get to that eventually. But just popping the clam tray off the top, trying not to launch all the parts everywhere. Looking at the figure with the top of the tray off, you do get a bit of plastic. There usually is some plastic in between the hips and the arm joints to make sure that they don't scratch the other parts of the figure, but you do get the Bruce Wayne head and all the other accessories nicely, but we're going to take a look at them right now. And well, here is everything out of the box. You got a nice arrangement of hands, some weapons, accessories, and also some extra head sculpts. Here is the first of 3 head sculpts included in the set. You've got a nice anger expression, just showing Batman's anger. Let's say he's in a fight with somebody or he's grinning at somebody. This is the face you'd pop on the figure. I mean, there's some nice paint details, although the paint on the jawline is a bit seeping over onto the mask. But the sculpt is actually really nice. I'm really impressed with this. Here's the Bruce Wayne head sculpt, and this one's okay. It's probably my least favourite out of the 3. I mean, it's Bruce Wayne, but it doesn't really look like the Bruce Wayne we see in the book. There's something slightly off about it. I mean, the hair's tinted blue like in the book. The sculpt's pretty good. Like, it represents Bruce Wayne quite well. It's got the strong jawline, but it doesn't look exactly like he does in the comic. But the thing that annoys me the most is the paint. Now, it is dotted method, so when you get really up close you can see that how it's been painted, but from afar it looks good. But on the top of my sculpt there is a bit of paint that is missing. Like, I don't know if it'll pick it up, but there is paint like missing. I mean, you can see some right there below the flick. There's just like some missing, and I don't know why. It's not really the best for the price you pay for the figure, but the Bruce Wayne sculpt does look pretty decent. Just wish it looked more accurate to the book. Next we have the interchangeable hands. These are a pair of fists that aren't properly closed. I don't really know what these be used for. They're pretty much the exact same thing that came on the figure, but they're not fully closed. As you can see, there is a slight gap in between them. The next is a pair of holding hands. You could put some batarangs in these, I'm pretty sure, or something in these, but it's a pair of holding hands. Pretty good. These are a pair of grabbing hands, or as Spider-Man collectors would call them, crawling hands. But yeah, I'm not sure when you would need to use these, but they're there. And then there's just a pair of generic resting hands, which are pretty nice, which you could just put if he's not in a fight or anything, just arms down his side, just resting hands. Next, we have a pair of bat claw hands, kind of Wolverine inspired claws. But these are actually really cool because I can't remember when, but at some point in the comic, he did use these. I think he was fighting Superman, maybe, but these are really cool. I forgot to mention though, I like the little pegs that these come in. So like the hands aren't loose in the tray, you've got a little peg to display them both on. Next are the grapple hook hands. So these are already holding them, which is nice. You don't have to put them into his hands. These aren't removable, but you get two of them. So you can have Batman holding two grapple hooks. The paint on these in detail and sculpt is actually really nice. I really like these. And then this comes on to the next item. The next item included is a grapple hook line. Now, this isn't bendy wire, unfortunately, it is solid. So I wouldn't try bending it. Mine seems to have a slight curve, but yeah, you, as I'll show you in a minute, you can slot this inside the grapple hook. There is also included a short one if it's not being projected in, but it's just resting inside the thing. But these are actually really nice. I'm really happy they included these, so it gives off some cool poses to do with the figures. These are something I'm really happy they included, which are batarangs. On the left, there is a more traditional batarang, which is really nice. Paint details really good. And then on the right, there is the classic batarang, more Nightwing thing. And again, paint details and sculpt are really nice. A thing that I like about these is that you can slot the batarangs inside of them. So yeah, so you can get some cool poses that he's throwing them at, like the Joker or the Riddler or some thug, which is really nice. And also paint detail as shown gives a nice shine as a reflection from my light. And then the same with the batarangs, you can slot the wires into the grapple hooks to get Batman grappling off a roof or gliding through the city, which is nice. And there goes the hand falling off the peg. The figure itself, this figure is insane. Just by standing here, no really posing it, other than maybe messing with the cape slightly. We'll get onto that later. But it's just insane. Like the way he looks straight out of the comics, which is what you'd expect, to be honest. But I really like the look of this figure. I mean, the material used on the cape is like a really nice soft fabric. The posability and the joints really good, and then onto like the how like his range ability again really good, like the ab crunch and that. We'll get onto this more, but overview of the figure pretty good. Now we're on to one of the only few negatives I have about this figure, and that is the cape. I mean, everybody says it about this figure. The cape is just far too big for this figure. It's like, I don't know, he's wearing a curtain from Wayne Manor. It's just like strapped to his back. It's like way too big. Like the span, like I can't really even show how the span of this, but and then it goes all the way around. There you go. There's like, it's insanely big. Like I know it's meant to be big in the comics on the other books, but I think it might be too big for this figure. But what doesn't help is the wires. See, there's only 2 wires on the figure. No, 4 wires on the figure. There is 2 at the front and then another 2 down one of the spine. But then for some reason, they never decided to add another wire down the spine of the cape. So then when you come to posability, let's say you're doing a gliding pose, the cape just flops, like just completely sags. You can't like get a good gliding pose out of him. Like let's say I wanted the cape to come up, he's gliding down. It's a terrible pose, but like the cape's just curtains just flopping about because they never added a wire to the spine of the cape, which is really frustrating because it limits the posability of the cape. You've got to kind of cover up the fact that there is no wire in that spine. Like there is multiple spikes on the cape, which is comic accurate, but they haven't all got a wire. I wish each individual one had a wire, or at least every other one. Like, they start off like this. There's one with a wire, none without a wire, and then same on. I wish they continued it, because then we'd get the spine of the cape having a wire. I don't know why they missed out. But in Mafex's defense, this is like one of their first figures they ever produced, or that had a fabric cape. So that is their defense of this, but I still just wish it had that wire. After moving the curtain of the cape out the way, you get shown the figure. Now, the sculpt, as I've said before, is incredible. So we're going to have a closer look. So here is the generic standard-faced head sculpt. Same as the other head, really nice detail. Like the ear sculpt, that's really nice. And then the paint, unfortunately, there is some paint seeping through again, which is another problem I have with this figure. But the posability and range of the neck is pretty good. So we can look about this far back. It is limited due to the plastic part of the cape. But looking down, pretty range. So the range looking down is pretty good. So looking down on a rooftop, really good range. And then looking up, about that far, maybe get further, you push it. But a lot of the posability is actually not from the head, because the head can come off, but it doesn't come off very much. The neck can come off. This allows you to install the Bruce Wayne head on the figure, which will look a bit like this, which looks pretty good. Like I said, giving my thoughts on the Bruce Wayne head, but it looks good. They never give you an empty mask, though. I wish they gave you an empty mask. I guess you can just kind of have him holding the cowl when it be a hard cowl, which was mentioned in the book. If you've read the book, then you'd understand what happens, which is why he had the hard cowl. But yeah, the head comes off pretty easily due to the ball peg that isn't movable. But in the Batman head, if I can not drop it and find where it's gone, in the Batman head, if you pull the neck, eventually it will come. Don't want to break it. Please don't break. There we go. Just almost break it. There is a little bit of a ball joint right here, which, you just move it. And then that allows you to put on the anger expression, which I'm not going to do because I don't want to break it like I almost just did then. But I'll, just hold it on. That is what he looks like with his angry face, which pretty good. Like I said, the paint sculpt in the angry face isn't the best, but it's there. And bobbly head. Moving down to the chest emblem, it's sculpted in, which is really nice. Pretty sure it's different plastics, but it's not painted, so it won't scratch off. But yeah, it's sculpted in, which is really nice. And then obviously the sculpt is good on the figure, like really nice, like showing the muscles. Butterfly joint and also pop out joints, which is nice. So good range of motion. You can go about that far back. I'm not going to push it to do 360, but I'm pretty sure it possibly could. But yeah, and then sculpt on the arms, really good. Got some swivel right there. And then the bending joints, really nice. Wrist movement, and then obviously wrist come off. Annoying thing on my figure though, I'm not sure. There you go, the wrist comes off. Is the paint was slightly like coming off on the wrist, which was really annoying. But other than that, the arms are good, and then same on this side. And then we get down to the abdomen, the ab crunch, really good. Goes about that forwards, which is what you'd expect for a figure at this price. And then going back, even better, is backwards ab crunch is really good. Although when you're doing it, I wouldn't take photos like this because you can see a massive hole in his chest. I'm pretty sure this is also ball joint because, yeah, goes side to side, 360 all the way around. So there you go. Batman could do 360s. Moving on to the belt. The belt is free loose, but it doesn't really go anywhere. It's glued on at the back, but it does go up, so I would try and keep it down just so you can see the sixth ab. But yeah, it's free loose. There isn't any paint detail, but I don't think it really needs any. It didn't have much detail in the actual book. But yeah, going down to the bat, whatever you want to call them, bat shorts, whatever. Pretty good detail. Same plastic as the head and the neck part, but going down to the legs, really good sculpt. They are pop up and down joints, and then he can't stick his legs out very far. So if you're trying to have his side kicked, he can go about that far, but that's using the other leg. It gets limited by the thigh area kind of there. Going forwards, pretty good. Like what would you expect from a Batman figure? It's not a Spider-Man figure, so you can't do it. And then backwards isn't good because of, well, the arse. And then going sideways again, same thing. The knee joints, pretty good. Other than side, it looks a bit awkward. But yeah, pretty good knee joints. And then we get down to the shins, really nice paint. And then we get down to the feet. Now these I'm really happy with. You get toe joints, which is what you'd expect. Really nice 360 swivel, and then the detail on the boot is like really good. It's like insanely accurate to the actual book, which is just what makes this figure so good. It's the detail to the book. So that's my overview of this figure. I will go over some things and get into some poses and pros and cons of this figure. It's kind of just my go-to pose for Batman. It's not the one I'd particularly go for, but it's the best way I can manage the cape. And obviously it's not the best pose because I've just rushed it to get it to stand up because his balance isn't particularly the best. But that is where the mafex stand comes in. Now, the mafex stand is a stand. It articulated, some screws, just plastic to support Batman. It's got a waist clamp and then some extra accessories that can hold him. So like maybe a jumping pose, this one would be for, goes underneath the legs. And I'm not sure what this is, but yeah, you get the mafex stand in every single Batman, or not every single Batman, every single mafex figure. It's pretty common to get given one. So it's a nice inclusion. I use it to support him so he didn't fall over and damage the sculpt, but nothing special, simple stand. And if it gets loose, you can just tighten the screws with a screwdriver. The pros of this figure is it represents Jim Lee's art style really well. The sculpt is really good. The articulation, it gives you enough arrangement to pull off some of the really good poses shown in the book. And the head sculpt, again, good. The feet are amazing. Double toe joints makes everything so much better for posing. And also butterfly joints and also hip swivel and the ab crunch being good allows more dynamic poses. Overall, the pros are really good on this figure. Now we have the cons. The cons are the paint sculpt. Not particularly the best one on my figure, but that could vary to whoever buys it. It just depends how it's come out the factory. Mine was unfortunately not the worst of the worst. I have seen worse, but it wasn't the best. There were blue marks up his arm, and then on the hair there was missing paint apps. And then obviously the biggest con is the giant curtain he comes with no wire in the middle, allowing it to flop down. Makes articulation kind of hard when articulating the cape. It just kind of sags and looks awful, so you've got to make up for that. But that is only really the one big con on this figure. But now let's get him into some poses. Well, that's enough of my terrible posing. Do I think this figure is worth the £90 I spent on it? The answer is yes, and I recommend it to anybody that is a fan of Batman, and even more if you're a fan of the Hush comics. This figure is amazing. It gives you a great range of accessories and head sculpts, and is really fun to pose with, and the cape isn't as bad as it could be, but it isn't the best. I recommend this. Now, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.